There's a big problem with the upcoming Trump administration that's going to be pretty different from his previous term as president. During his previous administration, Trump was still surrounding himself with several people from the Republican establishment that had some pretty bad ideas, but still kind of knew how things worked. With this new cabinet that he's putting together, the guardrails are off, and the adults in the room are no longer going to be there. For example, let's take a look at one of his recent cabinet picks for the Department of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., talking to Dr. Phil about his issues with the pharmaceutical industry and its relationship with government regulators. And just to get out ahead of this, RFK Jr. doesn't think vaccines are safe and effective, which they are. So just keep that in mind while you're watching this clip.
You said agency employees are actually getting royalties, getting payments on vaccines and drugs that they approve. Is that true?
False. Yes, there's a couple things happening. For example, the Moderna vaccine. NIH owns half of that vaccine, 50%. So the billions of dollars that vaccine makes, half of that goes to NIH, the agency, but there's also individuals, at least 4, and maybe 6 individuals who work for NIH who are high-level deputies under Anthony Fauci who get to collect $150,000 a year forever, not just for their lives, but their children. As long as that mRNA technology is on the market, they're going to be making money from it.
Okay,
and that is a conflict.
Hang on a minute now, because I don't want to blow by this too fast. So the National Institute of Health is getting a kickback, a bribe, a royalty, a share, whatever you want to call it. Is this not a clear conflict of interest?
Yes.
That's what you're pointing out, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Where to even begin? Okay, so first of all, you need to understand that that money is not at all a kickback for drug approval in any sense. Those royalties are the results of a series of laws Congress passed in the 1980s to incentivize the development and invention of life-saving medical interventions. We're actually trying to reward people for coming up with things that will help save lives, like mRNA vaccines. That $150,000 is the total royalties that any NIH scientist can receive in one calendar year for all the drugs that they help develop. So if those people are high level enough, they're probably involved with a lot of different projects and developing a lot of different medical interventions, so they receive royalties for a variety of different projects and products. But also, that $150,000 is just the hypothetical ceiling that any one person can receive in that year. We don't have any evidence that these people are actually receiving that amount. But beyond that, it's not really a scheme because RFK Jr. in that argument confuses the developers of the medications with the regulators. RFK's argument is that people at the National Institutes of Health, or NIH, are getting a $150,000 per year, as Dr. Phil puts it, bailout, kickback, bribe, for the approval of those drugs. But that's just not what is going on. He thinks it's a conflict of interest, but he moves between the NIH and the FDA without pointing out that those are two different organizations with different jobs. The NIH develops and invents and experiments with medicine. The FDA checks to see if they are safe for human consumption. Those people are different than the people who work at the NIH. Those NIH payments go to people who develop drugs, who invent them. So is this really who we want running the agencies in charge of the safety of things we put into our bodies? And RFK is just one cabinet pick that Trump has made. These types are about to run the government. The adults in the room are long gone. Pizza and soda for everybody! Well, actually, maybe not. RFK doesn't like junk food, so we may lose that too. Whooping cough and meningitis for everybody!